Welcome to the Seven Crosses series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 19th of March 1998. Now this part is going to consist of, well, two sections. The first section, I'm just going to go through your comments on the previous video because, as usual, you guys gave me a lot to think about, plus a couple of little bits and pieces I found out about the new update, which I think is quite intriguing, and I'll be very interested in your opinions on the situation. But the main bulk of this part is going to be setting up the distribution office, which we've finished up here. And just to give you a little bit of an update before we get into your feedback to the comments, is I've kind of built this, and I looked at this and I thought, well, I've got 8 trains here. And it suddenly occurred to me when I was trying to work out the routes in my head. Now, I'm going to be completely upfront. This is purely theory. I haven't done anything with this distribution office. But it suddenly occurred to me that if I want to export stuff and move other stuff around the map, another distribution office in this area, what I've actually done is I've actually planned a second one. And what I did through the winter it was actually expedited this rail track through here. And what I actually did was got 2 trains down here building this to get this track built so that I could actually lay out the signals properly here. So we're going to have 2 distribution offices here and another one up at Ollerton over here. So hopefully that is all going to go quite well, but I've got a few other problems, but I'll talk about those as we go along. I mean, I'll be completely honest, I don't really feel that I'm completely out of the woods yet with respect to stabilizing this playthrough, which has certain implications for my Four Corners series, which I'm possibly this week I will use the information I've got from this series to try and revitalize that series. Doesn't look good at the moment, to be completely honest. I want to start by saying a special shout out to Seathorn, who actually posted a very interesting comment about the way we actually play the game. And what he said is that with the new changes with the update, especially with happiness and productivity, it may push some players into becoming completely obsessed about getting the maximum efficiency by providing everything from the beginning. That would do is actually create a very uniform city. But then I know some people build cities like that anyway. And I think that is a very relevant point, because I think going forward from this update, we're going to have to accept that 99% happiness is no longer the reality. In fact, if you look up at the top here, you'll see that my overall happiness for my economy at the moment is 80%. And I think that is quite generous, actually. When I was thinking about Seathorn's comment, I kind of thought, well, yeah, there's scope. And I was actually looking around the map, and I thought I'd just show you guys this. If I start with the happiness, what you'll see, if I kind of zoom in quickly, what we got down here is we got a couple of residences with 76%, and then it rises to 83, 85% here. There's a little bit of higher happiness here, and then in this corner it drops back down to 72%. And I think this is the possibility of what you're going to be able to do in the future. You don't build a uniform town or city, whatever you want to call it. You can actually have different areas, as Seathorn suggested, and I actually quite like that concept. And what I'm going to do is try and explain why this is the way it is. And probably the best way to show is the alcohol dependence, because I've got a pub, I think it's here, yeah, and what you'll see is the pub doesn't cover the whole area, but there's a little bit of an overflow into this area here. And you can see we got 1% there, and in this corner here we've got a happiness of only 72%, because what we're providing here is literally just food and electronics. I think there's actually people can't get electronics either. So in order to get to the 80%, you've got to provide food, clothes, and electronics. It looks almost like if you don't have electronics, you take 10% off. This is why these are 72%. And of course it rises to 83% here. But again, if I show you here, they still don't get electronics in this area. The 84% here compared to there, which is the extra 10%, is coming from alcohol. Now down the bottom here, this drops down by another 10%, because if I come here and show you the pollution meter, what we got here is some pollution coming up here. So the people living in this area are a little bit less healthy, which is kind of a little bit of a problem. But you can see up here we've got people who are very healthy. These people aren't quite so healthy because of course they're drinking alcohol, so that actually reduces their health. So again, you can see the difference. We got 91-92% up here because this is the area, although some of these have got some amount of alcohol dependency, 1%. I think 1% doesn't take that away, but once it gets to, I think oops, that's the mayor. Let me just see. You can see here what we're getting to is about 7% alcohol dependency, and what that is doing is reducing the health by about, well, it's not that bad. It's, in fact, it depends. Looks like we obviously got a few more boozers down here with the, what's this? This is 14%. So it looks very much like the health is dependent on the amount of alcohol consumed. And then of course down here you've got the combined effect of the alcohol dependency and pollution, which is making this area a little bit of a rougher end of town. Continuing with the alcohol things, now I'm not sure if this is intentional by the devs or whether it's actually a potential bug that they may need to look at. Because if I come into the orphanage here and we look at the children, you can see that there's quite a strong alcohol dependency, 72%. Even, I think if I can find, I can't, even the ones with babies here have got 18% alcohol dependency. So what we got is a lot of minors drinking alcohol. I'm assuming that what's happening is that if we look at these here, that they're only doing food and everything and education. And I actually do wonder whether, because they're stood around doing nothing very much, that maybe what's actually happening is that they're spending their time drinking alcohol because there's a pub nearby. But having said that, if I come over to Colville and we look at the alcohol, now remember Colville is a dry town, but if we show alcohol dependency, what I've found is that I found this place here and I couldn't work out why they were having alcohol problems because there is no pub in this area. But what I did is I was looking through here. If you look carefully, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this because the print is very small. What we got here is a 21-year-old with 7% alcohol dependency. And I think if I move across, we got another one here who's 23 with a 48% alcohol dependency. So it's almost like a lot of my over 21s and are coming in with a certain amount of an alcohol problem, which means we're going to have to try and dry them out, or this could become an accumulative problem. And now I have got some over 21s, so I'm not sure whether that is from the over 21s or whether it's actually coming from the actual orphanage, because you can see here, even in this orphanage, there's still quite a few that have got a bit of a problem with the 19%. So that is something we're going to need to keep an eye on. Now, while we're in this area, I just want to show you some overlays that come up. And somebody actually posted a comment and said that there's this overlay and it says free flats. I'm trying to find, there is actually a free flat around here, which I think I was looking at. What this does, and what this comment suggested, it was actually in conjunction with, oh, there it is there. I was in the wrong city. And that's actually down to there, but we'll talk a bit more about that. But what someone said is that when prisoners are released, if they don't have free flats to go to, what will happen is that they will leave the city. And what that means is that that strengthens the reason for having orphanages, because if you have people leaving the city, you need to keep those children going in order to keep your growth going. I'm just going to switch that on actually. So what I've actually done, this is my strategy, is that we've got this area over here, and what I'm going to do, I can't do it, can I? Is I'm kind of thinking about possibly having this town, because you can see this town's got 50 slots, because over here, just to show you that there is absolutely no police cover. So if we go back to here and back to here, what you see, we've got no police cover, we've got no secret police, we've got no court police station here. So of course that means that nobody's getting arrested. But what's happening is that the population is starting to fall. So it looks like if you don't have police cover, then what you end up with is a really low happiness. You can see here the happiness is only 40%. But what it does mean is that what you could do is open this up from time to time to let people in. But I don't want this to be a sink for my over 21s at the moment. So if this area dies, it dies. Returning back to Colville, I want to move on to another comment that somebody actually pointed out. And they said that, where's Colville? Sorry about that. Is what they said is that prisoners are a very good source of a workforce. And I'm in real bad need for a workforce here. Simply because I've got real problems with supply over here, but I think it's more complex than just not having enough workers. But you see here, because the productivity is lower, we're actually getting less done here, which is having an effect, especially the brick factory here. So what I'm going to do is set up a test in this area. So we're going to come over to here, and we're going to stag, I think they're prison buses. I think we're going to get 4 of them, because what I want to do is set up a couple of routes from, so if we just put that over there, set up a route from here. Of course you've got to pick up from the prison, and I was actually looking at this just before I started, and you can actually send them to bus stops, and even factories, so that it's not just mines like I'd originally thought. But what we're going to do is we're going to come here, we'll call you Colville Prison, not poison, prison mine, call you that there, we'll accept that, and then we're two on here, put the line spacing on. And whoops. So I get that route set up, just let the game run. The reason I'm keeping the game on pause, well, I'll explain a little bit later on. And then what we'll do is we'll get another line, set up a line there. We'll just hook you. Pick up the prison, oops. Prison twice, that's probably not particularly that good. And we'll send another set of workers directly to here. Call you Colville Prison Brick. So we'll just set that up, set that, and then we'll just put 2 of these on here. Then we'll set the line spacing up, and then we'll just let that run. I'm assuming that the prisoners will work a 3-shift system, so we got 4 buses. I think the capacity was about 10 or 15. So what that means is 40. We probably need a few more prisoners to get maximum efficiency out of this, but I think that would be okay. Now, while we're here, I just want to talk about something else somebody commented about, was the way the workforce works now. And I must admit, I had kind of seen a few comments about that, both in videos and in the forums, but I'm still not 100% clear how it works. So what I'm going to do is give you my interpretation of how it works, and then you guys can correct me. Now, before the update, what would happen is someone who's living in one of these accommodations who was going off to work, the moment they go off to work, they are allocated a job, say for example over here in a mine, and that job is effectively reserved to them. So what they would do is they come out, walk to the station, wait for the train, and go to the mine. And of course the travelling time is part of their work day, which meant that you had a pretty good idea of the workers flowing in and out of these various buildings. Well, what it seems to happen now is that I think that still goes on to a certain degree, but what's more now is that the workers just say go to a bus station or the train station, where they're actually picked up to go and work in the location. So the jobs are no longer reserved. And what that does is it's actually causing a few problems with respect to the worker allocation. And as somebody pointed out, they actually need more workers now. So that's something we're going to need to sort out going forward. Another thing I want to show you is back to the overlays, and this comes back to here. What we got here is productivity, and for some reason productivity doesn't turn up on mines, but it does turn up on factories. When I first saw this, I was a bit worried because it said 21% productivity, and I immediately associated it with the new. Just going to pause the game here and say I immediately associated it with the actual individual workers, but it isn't. It's actually the productivity of the factory itself. And if I show you the workers here, what you'll see is that we've got high productivities in the workers, but because we've only got 53% of the actual maximum workforce in here, productivity is actually 20%. So this is a useful overlay in the sense of what it does is it shows you how productive your industries are, but don't be deceived if it's in the relation, because technically if this was the highest this could possibly get to is say 84-85%, because I've got workers in here who are, you could say, fully committed. In fact, we've got somebody there with a average productivity of 54%. Wow, God knows where they came from. Now, I've already shown you the free flats, but there's also this thing called construction. I wasn't too sure what this actually was at first, but this is a good example here. This is new, just to say this is 0% complete. What this does is it gives you a very quick overview. So in an area like this, you can go over rather than clicking on the individual buildings like you used to do before. You will actually get a percentage of how each one of these buildings is actually complete. Oops, I've got a problem there. Okay, what's going on here? And he's actually going to block the road here. I think what we'll do is we'll just... Thank you, game. Why can't I actually? I should be able to get that. Yes, I should. Right, we're just going to cancel that, get rid of that train. The reason for that is that I've got one of the trains are now back doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're actually meant to be laying that track there. Actually, have you finished? Let me just see. Right, apologies for the digression, but I just want to check my... Yeah, so what we got here is we've got you laying track out here, which is good because you're just keeping out of mischief, and you're laying track, you're doing the back curve there. I've got the need to find work for two trains. I think for the moment, for the duration of this video, I'm gonna put them out because I don't want to focus too much on the rail construction side. In fact, I think what you can do is, where's that curve? That needs to be finished, so you can work on that and get that done. Now, I think I've just got one more thing to show you, and I think the best place to show you is up here. And I literally found out this by accident because I saw in the change notes that if you click on a monument now, you actually get a percentage of plus 5.2 for on all your monuments now. But if you actually put it on here, it actually shows you the coverage of how much cover that monument actually provides now. And I was quite interested, and you actually see that this actually covers factories. This overlay actually answers a question that's been really bugging me, in which is why this place here has such low loyalty. And the reason being is they're not actually covered by a monument. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick a monument in here. I think we're going to go here. No, I don't want something that big. Sorry. If I get a red, maybe we could get a red star in just here on this corner. No, that's a little bit of a waste of space. Maybe we can squeeze it in like that next to the helicopter pad. I think we'll just get them. I keep my helicopter crews busy, or maybe we can. Okay, can't do both. So okay, that's fine. That covers all the comments. Sorry, it's a bit longer than usual, but I felt there was a lot to cover. And what we're going to do now is actually set up the train distribution office. Now, over here in the depot, I've actually got a couple of trains which have been put in here for various other reasons. So the first thing we're going to do is send these to the distribution office. That means I've probably messed up the signals here. Let me just take a look. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, completely messed up the signals. That's the reason for that is I was kind of messing around with these signals, trying to get the trains, the construction trains in here. So let's just go and give it another go. Just love signals. Actually, let's just bring it right away over so get open. And I'm hoping that what this will do is let me send the whole trains to here. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is just get them running, let the game run slowly, and let those trains over there. I think this is quite important if you're going to set up a train distribution office, especially if you're already got existing train lines. Is I think you need to spend a little bit of time actually sorting out your distribution offices and where you want the trains to run. And I've spent about an hour and a half actually working on this, trying to get things going. Well, there's a lot of people coming here. What are these guys are after? Asphalt. What you see, one of the consequences of the changes, and this is the reason why I've had the game on pause, is that I've cancelled a lot of the jobs. So all these tankers sat here and all these covered holes were shipping food and fuel up and down this road here. And what I've done is I've actually gathered them all together. And eventually what I'll do is I'll sort these distribution offices out. But it gives you an idea of how many trucks I've been using to move goods around this area. And what I've decided to do is this is going to be my main distribution for electronics, food, alcohol and clothes to Ollerton. And if any of you have been following the series, you'll be aware that I've been using this warehouse here. It's still got some clothes still in it, but we can not worry about that too much. But what I need to do now is find you. What I want to do is send you. We're going to start with the clothes situation, and what I want to do is get you in there as well. I've got one train missing. You. Yeah, you're the one that's been running around and you should disappear soon. You. Right. You're the other one I want to get in. What I'm doing is rounding up all the food trains so that we can put them into the distribution office. And what we should do is get them all into here now. And now, of course, you can actually buy the trains directly here, but what we're going to do now is just set this up. If I sound nervous, I am nervous, because if this all goes wrong, life could be there. We need you to be able to pick up clothes, alcohol, electronics, and food. And then, well, I think I'll do Colville first. We'll do the local ones first before we send a train up to Ollerton. Now, one change I've made here is that I've got the distribution office now for the actual clothes is coming down directly by truck, so that all we're dropping here is food and electronics. And then over here we're going to drop off, what was it, food, alcohol and electronics. And then what we're going to do is go over to Ollerton. This is our new drop-off point here. And what we're going to deliver here is food, clothes, alcohol and electronics here. But of course, we've actually got to do clothes as well. Now, if we go back right across the map again, I just want to see if there's any, we're getting any reaction from, oh, we got a train here. Where are you going? Right, actually, I think I might rename that. That's a bit confusing. So, of course, these guys have already got some stuff on them. So, they're going to be, how can you say, they're going to take a little while to empty. I'm hoping they will. If they don't, I'm going to be in trouble. Ollerton food station, like that. So we've now got this working. Sorry, across the map again. And I just want to see if this actually works, because this is all theoretical at the moment. Yeah, just coming into here. And we got a bit of a flatbed here. Right, where are you going? You're going to deliver alcohol and food to Stilton. And what I've actually done is, I know the loyalty's terrible, tell me about it. What I've done is I've tried to balance these warehouses so that they've got enough food, but a little bit worried about the fact how quick the food's going down in Colville. Kind of thinking what I might do is buy a couple of extra wagons. I don't think we've really got enough wagons here for shipping ordinary food, so I'm going to get a couple more of these. Hopefully that will work. And the other thing I also want to do is just make sure, how's the food flowing in up here? We've got 94 tons of food, so you should be there. Actually, I think I might have made a mistake. Sorry about this. Yep, 100%, 100%, 100%. Actually, we'll leave Ollerton at 50 for the moment, and we've got a food route. I'm a bit confused over why. So you're going there. You're delivering alcohol and food. Why aren't you? Kind of a bit confused over. Now there is a setting in here which I'm not. Now again, this is an assumption. It says wagon size. It says minimum count of wagons 1. So I'm assuming if you want more busier trains, you got there, and it says maximum train length 154. Now what I have done is I've measured this station, and you can see here this is 155 roughly. Now I'm not sure whether that is set, whether the train will go past that. If any of you know, feel free to chuck it in the comments. I'm just a little bit concerned over Colville's not getting a food supply. Anyway, we're just going to need to keep an eye on that. In fact, I'm a bit too concerned, I think. I don't like that idea. So I'm just going to put this back the way it was before. Colville clothes and food. I'm going to put you back to picking up food directly from here. I just don't want that running out of food while we're doing this setup, because it's a little bit of a cause for concern. Just gonna, well, what I can do is I've got piles and piles of what we call it's over here. Gonna nick a couple, another one from these from here. I'm gonna put you down there. Well, we're just gonna need to keep an eye on that and see how it works. We need to set this distribution office up. If we start to run out of food, we start to run out of food. That's all there is to it. Right, the next thing I want to do is find the fuel train. Where are you? Well, the best way to find it would be to click on here. Let's just see where the fuel train is. Where are you? Okay, you're going the right direction. What we're going to do now is send this fuel train to the distribution office. Get you up to there. Get you going. I also want to find the train that's distributing this stuff. Where are you? let them get in there and unload. Actually, I'm just going to send you, I think, to send you to the distribution office as well. So we're just going to get him across and in there as well. I'm a little bit worried about the fact that these guys are totally fixated on supplying everyone else except Colville. Actually, just had a thought. You've got clothes. Ah, this might be... You've got clothes. And Colville doesn't need clothes. Right, I'm just going to buy a couple more of these. Hint game. Hint please. So it looks like all my trains are supplying... What's up with you? Oh no, you're train short at the moment. That might account for it, because all my trains are delivering up to there, which means that Colville is suffering a potential food shortage. And I mean, I don't really want to dump these clothes. I think we can make this work, to be honest. Anyway, the hazards of setting up a rail distribution office, as I say, this is very much theoretical. We'll come in here, and of course the train isn't there, but I'm gonna kind of set everything up first. So I know what I want to do with the fuel train here. So just come here. You're going to unload here, and you're going to unload. Let's speed the game up actually, so we can get the trains in position. Otherwise the video would be too long. And we're going to have you there for an unload. Get that done. And hopefully here comes the fuel train. Right, so what you're going to do is you're going to pick up bitumen and all that. And I think, well, I should probably give these meaningful names. You're going to unload bitumen and fuel here. What's the capacities? I think we'll set you at 60%. And then what we're going to go is down to here. Get to here. I think we'll set you... I think we can set you to 60% as well. That means we shouldn't need to deliver any fuel for a little while. What that might do is release the train. Do some deliveries. If it will, please. I'm sorry, I'll keep coming back to checking here, but... Well, we must be getting a little bit of food coming in here. It's just not particularly that much. Hopefully that will settle down over time. And have we got the... We've got the flatbed train in here now. Here comes the other train. And he's actually... Right, he's sending food to Colville. Great. We've got two trains. These trains are really busy. Now, the next route I want to set up is, again, it's going to be a little bit convoluted. And I think you're probably now getting an idea of why I built another distribution office, because I think eventually what I'm going to need to do is specialize them a little bit. And then we're going to come up to here. So you're picking up bricks. Oh, we've already got this one done, isn't it? Which is this one at the top here. You're going to unload bricks. You're going to pick up prefabs. What's the storage? Prefabs 250, 110 tons of bricks. I think we're going to set this to about 80% to start with. And I can always adjust these later on. Then you need to come down to... And you're going to drop off. You're going to unload bricks and prefabs for storage here. I think to start with, we'll set you to 60%. So you see, you've got plenty of bricks in there as well, and then we're gonna this to here, and you're gonna deliver bricks and prefabs again. The percentages here. Again, I think we're gonna start about say 40% for the moment, and then we'll just build up from that rather than getting everything going. That gives me space for 2 more trains. Now, I think quite an easy one to add into this mix is up here. I've got to find the train associated with this one. And where are you? Because this one's just running around, wasting electricity at the moment. Oops. Where are you? You just picked up from the gravel, so I'm going to send you to... what we call it, the distribution office, and then I think this will be the final route for this distribution office. I think I've kind of overfilled it a bit. Actually, I think we'll pick up the coal from here. So we're going to pick up coal from here and aggregate from here. Just let the game run, and then we're going to deliver it to up here. Unload. Oh, what's that? Connection with conveyor to building when building storage is filled with lower percentage than this. Okay. Obviously no idea what is that, because it's got a split load. It's probably this one, isn't it? Because I think this, because this is a direct connection. Or maybe it's this one. That's, I can't remember now, sorry, to be honest. Well, we'll see if that will work, and we'll see if we can get that working. Now the next thing I want to sort out is over here. I think we've finished with the distribution office. We just need it to settle down now. What I want to do is do something with this train, and who's currently unloading iron ore. I want to get rid of this here, because we're going to get rid of our coal exports. So we're just going to delete that, stop there. So what I'm going to do is offset my coal exports against picking up the iron ore from here. Wait until loaded, and then that means we won't be importing iron anymore. Oops, no. So the idea is that you're going to come here, you're going to wait until unloaded, wait until loaded, and that will come there. Now we are getting regular certain amount of iron ore coming in here, but I think at the moment, because of the problems with productivity, I don't think we got a problem when we got a bit of a stockpile here, but we can work on that. If necessary, we'll put in a second train. And I've just realized that I've missed one connection from here. We need to deliver coal to here. Have we actually got the connections now? No. Okay, you can unload. Just need to wait for that train to come in. And I think that is the distribution office set up. Yeah, I think the problem is there wasn't enough trains to go round, so it's going to take a little while for everything to settle down and keep supplied. Well, everything is getting really busy here. The final train hasn't arrived yet. Well, I've seen no idea where he is. We certainly got a lot of trains running backwards and forwards. And I think once this settles down, we're going to have less trains on the line going forward. Where are you going? It says train distribution office. Why are you... Have you actually done... Oh, you pulled a fast one on me. Can't remember which one is which now. Although this, yeah, this is coal. Of course, if you click on these, it will tell you. So this one must be gravel. This one has to be gravel and coal. One of the nice thing about aggregates is the fact that you will be able to just do things. So right. And we've got... Just want to make sure this is the... I'm just going to follow you, just make sure that you will unload, because you're delivering 240 tons of aggregate now. We just want to make sure that you're going to unload, because I don't want a problem with the coal delivery up here. So you're delivering the coal. How's... No, we know the... Of course, because he's got gravel on these trucks at the moment, so until those trucks empty out, he's gonna kind of move the gravel backwards and forwards on as and when things go. So it's going to take a little while to sort the trucks out, but at least it avoids buying new trains. Let me just have a quick look at what we got in here now. We've got one truck with prefabs on. We've got trucks full of fuel, which is a potential, and we got one full of bitumen. So that's going to sit like it is for the moment. We've got an empty wagon there, and we've got still got these two full of clothes. So that's going to take a little while for that to come out, because the only place that needs clothes is Ollerton, which is up here. Let's just have a see what's been yeah, I think it's certainly going to take a little while to settle down, isn't it? Because we're although that's 5 tons of food, but of course you've got to remember is I was messing around with the distribution offices, so what's probably happening is that these started to run a little bit low, and that's one of the, I mean, even with the game on pause, that was a potential problem. So it's going to take a little while for the distribution office to get all the necessary food stocks put into the town here. But just see, yeah, I mean, we got the food in here, and of course we got this all being developed now. Where are you going? Yeah, this is Ollerton. So this train's just come in to pick up another load of food. Look at that! Wow, look at, oh, great stuff. I think I could get hooked on distribution offices, because everything is now flowing quite nicely now. And hopefully this is all going to settle down quite nicely. My helicopter crews, apologies that I'm ignoring the rest of the game, but I thought I'd just do this. So we're getting electronics in here as well. So things are going pretty good. Sorry about coming back to here. Now, I suppose what I can do now is explain a little bit more now here. In fact, let me just want to get... I want this next to... I want this place built. Now the road has been built. I've kind of a little bit neglected the road here. You can... Oh, you already got deliveries here. In fact, I'm tempted... What? Yeah, I think I will. Yeah, so we'll just get the helicopter crews on that. And because what I want is, possibly what I'll do then is I'll move the aggregate train onto here, or maybe not, because what I want to do with this office is set up export routes for, say, gravel, coal and other things. And what that will mean is that this one can then be added to here to ensure that this stays full up with gravel, but then it means I can then also export gravel, or possibly even some of the coal. And I think what we're going to do now is just take a look at what's going on over here. Yeah, so this is coming back now because this train isn't exporting coal anymore. So if we take a quick look at the economy exports now, you can see we exported a little bit of coal this month, but eventually that coal will drop off. But you can see we weren't making that much from coal anyway. And what I'm hoping is eventually we'll be able to export fuel as well. At the moment, I'm exporting the fuel by truck to compensate for not using the coal as well. So I'm a bit worried about why. I suppose because that is the logical way for it to go, I suppose. This is a two-way section. Let me just check. Yeah, it's two-way. Actually, yeah, that's a... I think what I might do is actually break this bit of track here eventually, because we won't have the connection between the coal and the iron. I think that might work here. What are you? Oh, you're just the overflow train. And what are you? Oh, you're the import train. I think what we may have to do is actually add a second train, but well, a lot of money, isn't I? I've lost quite a lot of money. Am I actually losing money? Well, we did spend 4 million on various bits and pieces, so I suppose that's to be expected. Let me just see. I mean, as long as this stays reasonably full, I'm not going to buy a second train. I just want the economy to settle down first before we get things done. And he's going to come in here. He's going to grab another big pile of iron. And as I say, I think what I need to do is allow the economy to run for a couple of months and settle down before I make any other decisions. Oops, looks like we've started to supply fuel now. That means my fuel systems here, oh, you're pretty high, so it's because of course what I'm actually doing is at the moment is I'm exporting fuel and bitumen from here, so this will drop a little bit. So we're just going to need to balance a few things over time, and I do need to sort out all these offices. I'm aware I'm running out of time, so what I'm going to do is, just to finish off, we're just going to do a quick check of my poorly neglected construction trains. They probably run out of completely out. Oh no, they're doing okay. I deliberately loaded them up with fairly extensive jobs so that they'd stay out of trouble, because I want them to. Actually, these guys are getting on quite nicely. Actually, they're working their way in here, which is where is it? Let's see where they are. Oh, you're actually going up here, aren't you? So I might want to cancel that job, but let me just see where the other ones are going. Yeah, you're still working on the back curve here, but that's okay. We want to get that built. Yeah, quite happily ploughing out here, which is good, because I want you working on that area there. And that means that the job that's not being done at the moment is this one. I think hopefully this is all finished. Yep, that's good. This is where they were working on previously. So what we need to do now is make a start on getting in here. In fact, what I would like to do is start pushing. Actually, I will. Where's the job that's being done here? We're going to cancel that, and of course I've closed the construction train. Let me just see. I think because the real priority job is got to be, well, one of my many priority jobs is we're going to start, because we need to push out to the ore terminal up here, which is now finished. If I show you that just to finish off. I mean, this looks impressive, and it's got multiple storage capability, but you can see it can store 13,500 tons of oil. We've got loads and loads of oil in here. We just need the ability now to get it to the oil refinery. This is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. Any hints, suggestions on optimizing the distribution office, feel free to chuck it in the comments. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.